So, hi, just another live stream, but this time around I've got the light sorted, so it's great. It's great fun. This room I'm in is literally not the best room to record things in or do things in, but however, it's doable. It's comfy, it's nice, and thanks if you are listening or watching. That's great. Um, but yeah, today I'm going to do a review about the prom. Now, obviously, I'm only doing this from mind because I know that I've watched it and I had some few icky bicky moments. And I'm going to say this is all spoiler because if you haven't watched the film, you need to go and watch it because, yeah, it is a great musical. So, um, so the first thing is what's about the prom. So the prom is about this girl who is part of the LGBT community, and yet she thinks that her school needs to do needs to be happy with her having a sort of an LGBT or sort of normal prom, um, which when they can invite whoever they want and not feel like they can't feel that they can't be themselves. So it's a great musical. It's really down to heart. And then obviously, whilst that is all happening, um, these Broadway people are like they are failing in the Broadway industry. So they decide to try and find some good, trying to do, trying to help, try to do something good for their personas or for their celebrity, for their sort of eyes. So they decide to go and they scroll across this girl who's having a problem to making a prom for LGBT people in their school, and yet that's where the musical is, and that's what the musical's all about. Um, Now, I'm going to judge this in just watching the film. I haven't seen the Broadway production, so this might seem a little bit shocky, a little bit sort of different, but this is only coming from my perspective from the film. Um, there is good bits. There is bits that I don't think I agree with, and I don't know if that's the production or if that's the way that the film wanted to change it, because I don't understand what's the changes between the differences. So that's where I'm going to come from. And so, if in case if you do have a review or if you do think different, please comment down below. I'm willing to look at people's reviews and people's comments and see what and see how you guys watched and see what you guys think about it as well. That'd be interesting for me to look down here as well. So, the first thing I like to talk about is the performances from the main cast. So, the big names, which is Keegan Michael Key, he plays really good. He plays the head teacher. You also got Meryl Streep, Nicole Kidman, Ryan Reynolds, not Ryan Reynolds, not Ryan Reynolds. Oh, let's say Ryan Reynolds would be it, but he does look like Ryan Reynolds though. But and you also have James Gordon. James Corden. I think I like to talk about Meryl Streep, Nicole Kidman, and James Gordon. The other one, he is really good. He was in Book of Mormon. Actually, yeah, talk about him first. He was in the Book of Mormon, um, and he was literally like I think he did really well. Like I know that I haven't seen the Broadway production. I've seen the reviews about this, and yeah, he did really good, and was he's just like he's just like dancing in the mall, saying "Love Thy Neighbor." Really good. Always did a really good performance. He danced, he sang perfect. He sang, he acted. It wasn't such a big character that he played. So I don't think that he would have had a problem playing a sort of a smaller, I think it's like a small role character. Um, but the rest of the three, the same thing with Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman is not much of a. I say I haven't seen Moulin Rouge, unfortunately, but this production, she sells and all that, and the character she had to play, obviously, is quite raunchy, almost like a little bit like of a Chicago. Um, like her skinniness, her legs, her long legs. I mean, she played the part really well. She also played this sort of like diva, this sort of like skinny diva. It's almost like she was playing Annie, like the he had Rooster and the thing in Annie. She was like that thing in Annie, um, and yeah, she just played it really well. And she was a supporting character. She sung, she danced really well, and I think she doesn't have much of a character arc than Meryl Streep and James Corden does, and the LGBT characters. I don't understand what their names are, but I'm just going to talk about this through their production because I think when you watch a trailer, you kind of pick the first names and the best names, and you have to review them on that point. And that's how I feel like you need to review a film or a musical is review it from the names that are big, so that then you get to the gritty part as well through that. Um, so the next part would be Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep, I mean, she was flawless in Into the Woods, absolutely flawless. She is flawless in this too. The weirdest part for me, is that their actual ages. She falls in love with Keegan Michael Key, who's like what, probably in his probably in his 30s, 40s. She's like in her 50s, sort of around there. It just kind of looked a little bit I just didn't think it kind of fit with me. But it's not. That's just because I just felt that way. I just felt this is a bit kind of weird, but it worked. And she had a wig on. She had makeup on. It was stunning. She looked amazing, and she sounded flawlessly as well. Her character her character is from the Broadway, as well as the other two characters I just previously mentioned. They're all from the Broadway. And she is one of the most obnoxious celebrities who thinks of herself all the time. And she was one of them that didn't want to. She thinks that she was doing hard work. She was thinking that she was doing um, like dirty work whilst she was doing good work. You know what I mean? So she was one of those celebrities, and she played it really well. She played it like over the top, like over flamboyant, and the songs as well. She's always flawless, and I think she played it really raunchy. Like she's just the way she walked and talked and everything else was just so Meryl Streep, and she did really well. The one of them that I'm really surprised about with loads of reviews actually slating is James Corden. James Corden. Now, I'm going to say this from my perspective. I genuinely do believe he did a really good job with this one. I think he did most best performance I've ever seen he's done the best performance. He's done it better. This is his best performance than like Into the Woods, Cats, Peter Rabbit, to name but a few. But this one, who's so good in this, and the reason why he's so good is because I know that he is a British person, and sometimes it can be very hard, even though British actors can do American accents easy. But and especially if you're living in America, you can do the American accent easy. But he did a really good job, and his campness, the way that he played a camp character. He played Uncle Barry, who is this yet again, this person that comes from Broadway, he was one of the main characters as well, alongside Meryl Streep. And they played this in this musical together, and then this musical flopped, and now they end up having to come over. So James Corden did a really good job, and like a lot of people, a lot of camp people, a lot of LGBT men in the UK it is a bit different than going to see an LGBT man in America. So there is a bit of something there is something like that stuck inside James Corden. And I thought that actually he played the most convincing camp man I've ever seen, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is just his role, and this is just the way that he played it. So funny, so light-hearted, so fresh to watch. And I know that I haven't seen the Broadway production, and I've seen a review again. I've seen all these reviews about saying that why couldn't they have an actual gay character now. It wouldn't. I don't know. It depends on how. It really depends on how the person is. But he got for Uncle Barry. For Barry, you got to have a big person, and you got to have a person who's funny, and yet that is James Corden all around. He is the funny, bubbly character that if he can play a camp character, he can play it really well, and that's why he's a really good character for this production. And the songs are really good. Like I have a little bit of a nicky picky moment here, and that is the first songs reminds me of the producers. Now, I seen the producers with Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick. Sorry, I'm a little bit over, but anyway, the first number just reminds me of the producers, a show that flops, sort of thing, and they think they succeed in, but it flops, or they want to make a flop but succeeded. But anyway, it reminds me a bit of that, and it's not saying it's a bad thing. It's just that I think whenever I thought of the Prom first, I had pop music and recent music. So I thought that the whole show was going to be, the whole film was like that. So I was really bubbly. I was really excited for that. But then the first couple of minutes, just hearing like an old Broadway kind of production sort of song, just kind of took me off a little bit. I was just like, I thought I was going to watch something a little bit new, a little bit fresh. And then obviously during it changes, like almost then after that scene's over, and you kind of then get to the pop songs. And it almost reminds me as well of High School Musical and a bit of Grease, like the songs that they sort of perform. But I was actually fine with it. I loved that sort of stuff. And the two girls that played the LGBT couple, they did really well. And Keegan Michael Key, I was really surprised. Now the best thing is that one of the things with Keegan Michael Key for me was that the Jingle Jangle I didn't feel was his best performance. I didn't feel that he was there. Like it didn't seem to fit some sort of way with me watching that. And yet again, this one, it was just stunning. The character he played, it's not his Keegan Michael Key self. He wasn't a comedian in this one. He was it's the drama, the passion he has for theatre, and he plays a head teacher of the school that wants to create this where this kid wants to create an LGBT prom, and he does an amazing job. And I think the three sellers for me is the main girl that has the LGBT, Keegan Michael Key and James Corden. Those are the three people that I thought that actually hold this film together and took this film to new directions. And like Keegan Michael Key, I mean, that the way that he describe sitting in an audience and being there and watching, obviously, Meryl Streep do her number on stage. Um, I think it was the best number, and going to Applebee's, and it just felt like more normal after watching like the Broadway couple of minutes. Um, Keegan Michael Key brings it down to like the whole emotional level, which I think he did a really good job with, and I really congratulate him on that one. As a performer, as an actor. Um, as well as that, like as I said, the two girls are just stunning. Obviously, got to have they actually had two. They actually got two LGBT girls, and that's stunning. That's really good, and I think they can sing. They can obviously the youngsters. They can sing. They can dance. They can act. Did a really good job. Um, I don't think that they had any. I don't think I had any issues with them. Like they played it like an LGBT, like how they like it's just it must be just normal. But then at the end, but then they sung really well. They danced really well. If they act, dance, sing very well, that's all that matters to me personally. But if they also, if I do see any mishaps, then I can do pick on that too. But the musical's really good, and during this time where we have coronavirus and the world is in this massive array of really sad times, I think this musical sends comments, waves, stunning things that um, actually, if this the really weird thing is that if this film came out like last year, it wouldn't be as praised as it wouldn't be as praised. Funnily enough, because of the coronavirus and people being locked inside doors and not seeing musical theatre, and we'll probably I and if we weren't in such things as lockdowns, we would probably compare it to like things like West Side Story or whatever or not. But because we haven't got that yet, and we haven't got In the Heights or West Side Story, we've got the Prom, and the Prom is amazing. And I sat there crying, happy. Songs are stunning, by the way. The songs are good, apart from those Broadway numbers. So I kind of think it was just a little bit of a different taste. And I think I came in just I haven't listened to all the album, and I haven't listened to the Broadway album. So watching this new and fresh, I think gave me a new perspective on it. If I watch the production, and if it ever comes down to the UK, I probably will then watch it, and then probably then see which is better and which one's not. Probably I say the film is probably better because it's the first time I watched it. Um, I can't say that that's the same thing with most musicals now anyway. Like Rock of Ages, really good as I watched it on live on stage. Really, really good. Watched the film, hated it. It's so weird. And yeah, this is I kind of give if I can do a new rating regime, just based on what I've just said, I'd say I'd give the Prom an 8 out of 10, which is good in a way. Good review, but as well. This is Let's Talk Musicals. I do reviews on musicals. And if you are wanting to listen to more, please go onto my Instagram, type in Let's Talk Musicals, and we will see you guys there too. And we might do more on here though. So check this account and channel, subscribe, like, comment, whatever you want to do. All right. Bye.